Have you ever wondered how your favorite chocolate is made? You know, back in 1200 BC in Mexico, believe it or not, the Aztecs treated chocolate beans like gold. In fact, these little beans were used as currency before the Spanish took over, making them more valuable than gold itself. The delicious journey of chocolate begins with the Theobroma cacao tree, which in Greek means food of the gods. Pretty fitting, right? These magical trees originally hail from the lush Amazon, but over time they spread to other regions around the globe. The trees thrive in tropical climates, growing within a narrow band, just 10 degrees north and south of the equator. There are 4 main types of cacao beans, but the most popular variety is Forastero, primarily grown in West Africa. In fact, West Africa is the chocolate powerhouse of the world. According to the World Cocoa Foundation, this region alone produces a whopping 70% of the world's cacao, with South America and Southeast Asia also contributing their share to the global chocolate supply. Cacao trees are long-living giants with a lifespan of around 100 years, but they're quite picky about their environment. They need temperatures between 18 degrees Celsius and 32 degrees Celsius to grow, and anything below 10 degrees can be fatal. Cacao trees produce large pods, about the size of a football, which are filled with 35 to 45 cacao beans, nestled in a soft white pulp. At first glance, they don't look like the chocolate we know and love, but don't worry, you'll recognize them soon enough. Harvesting these cacao pods is no easy task either. The trees can grow as tall as 25 feet, and farmers must carefully pick the pods by hand, making it a labor-intensive process. So next time you savor a piece of chocolate, remember it's a sweet reward that starts high up in the trees. Inside every cacao bean are nibs, the real stars of the show. These little guys are full of nutrients and mostly made of fat, which later gets turned into cacao butter, one of the main ingredients that makes chocolate so irresistible. Getting these beans out of the pod still done by hand, no fancy machines yet. It's hard work, but totally worth it. Did you know the world's largest chocolate bar was made in Italy in 2011? It weighed over 5,700 pounds. Back to the process. Before cacao beans even reach the manufacturer, they go through 2 essential steps: fermentation and drying. These steps play a huge role in the final taste of chocolate, making them absolutely crucial. During fermentation, the beans undergo a chemical transformation that gives chocolate its distinct flavor. Farmers use 2 main methods for this: the box method and the heap method. In the box method, the beans are spread out in boxes with small holes at the bottom, and they're regularly turned to ensure proper airflow. This helps the fermentation process run smoothly. On the other hand, in the heap method, the beans are piled up and covered with banana leaves. Both methods aim for the same result and take about 5 to 6 days to complete. During this time, the beans heat up to between 45 and 50 degrees Celsius, which kills the seed and drains away the white pulp that surrounds them. It's these carefully timed steps that help develop the rich, irresistible flavor we all love in chocolate. Once fermentation is complete, it's time for drying. Farmers spread the beans out on large trays, allowing them to dry naturally under the sun. Sometimes, though, when the weather isn't on their side, they cover the beans at night to protect them. In some cases, heated air is used to speed up drying, but farmers have to be careful if wood smoke sneaks into the mix. It can mess with the flavor and affect the taste of the final chocolate. Now, the goal is to dry the beans until the moisture content drops to around 7 to 8%. This level is just right, not too much to prevent mold, and not too little to make them brittle. Once perfectly dried, the beans are ready for their next big journey off to the manufacturer. Wait, did I just say cocoa beans instead of cacao? Let's clear that up. Cacao refers to the tree and its beans before they're processed. Once the beans have been processed, they become cocoa beans. Fun fact to share with your friends, I bet they didn't know that. When the cocoa beans finally arrive at the factory, they're sent straight to quality control. Here, experts check everything: bean quality, size, moisture content, and any defects. After passing inspection, the beans are cleaned and sorted to meet the manufacturer's needs. After quality checks, the beans move to the roasting unit, where they're roasted to unlock their natural flavor and rich aroma. This step is crucial for enhancing the beans' taste. Roasting typically happens in a drum or oven at temperatures between 120 to 140 degrees Celsius for 10 to 30 minutes. It not only reduces moisture and deepens the color, but also makes it easier to remove the outer shell. After roasting, the beans are cracked open, and blowers are used to separate the lighter shells from the heavier nibs. Once the shells are out of the way, the nibs are ready for grinding. In the grinding unit, these roasted nibs are ground down into a thick paste known as cacao liquor, the base for all chocolate products. This process involves passing the nibs through a series of rollers that gradually reduce the size until a smooth, viscous paste forms. The resulting cocoa liquor is dark, rich, and packed with that iconic chocolate flavor we all know and love. After grinding, the cocoa liquor is pressed to separate cocoa butter from cocoa powder. This pressing process involves applying pressure to the cocoa liquor, forcing the cocoa butter into a natural fat to separate from the solid cocoa particles. And don't worry, cocoa butter isn't wasted. It finds its way into various food products, like ice cream and coatings, adding that smooth, creamy texture we love. Now, to create that delightful treat, cocoa butter, cocoa powder, sugar, and often milk or other ingredients are blended together. This mixture is then tempered, a key process where the chocolate is carefully heated and cooled. Tempering is crucial. It ensures the chocolate sets properly and achieves that beautiful glossy finish. It also prevents the chocolate from becoming brittle or grainy, so you get that perfect melt-in-your-mouth experience. Once tempered, the chocolate is molded into various shapes and sizes, ready for our enjoyment. The final step? Cooling. This allows the chocolate to set, which can take anywhere from a few hours to several days, depending on the thickness. During this cooling phase, the chocolate flavor continues to develop. Chocolates come in various types, each with its own unique flavor profile that makes them special. Dark chocolate is made primarily from cocoa butter and cocoa powder, with little or no sugar, giving it a rich, intense flavor. If you've tasted it, you know how wonderfully chocolatey it is. It's often hailed as the healthiest option because of its minimal sugar content. Next up, we have milk chocolate, which blends cocoa butter, cocoa powder, sugar, and surprise, milk. It's sweeter and creamier than dark chocolate, making it a favorite for many. Just thinking about it might be making your mouth water right now. Finally, there's white chocolate. This one is creamy and sweet with a distinct milky flavor, but it doesn't contain cocoa powder, making it quite different from its darker counterparts. Once the chocolate is made, proper packaging is crucial to preserve its delicious texture and flavor. In large factories, chocolates are wrapped in aluminum foil to create an airtight seal, protecting them from oxygen and preventing oxidation. But that's not all. A plastic film is added to help keep humidity at bay. If stored properly, chocolate can last up to 2 whole years. So remember to store your chocolate at room temperature, away from heat and moisture. No refrigerators, or it'll become brittle and lose its delightful texture.